Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome back once again to our ongoing series on the glories of Sri Vrindavan Dhama. I'm addressing you from Sri Mayapur today. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pasteta Deshatarane. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we're beginning a short series on the summer season in Vrindavan. As we've discussed before several times, there's 6 seasons in Vrindavan's year, which once again are poetically known as the joy of monsoon, the pleasure of autumn, the satisfaction of winter, the happiness of the dewy season, the beauty of spring, and the auspicious season of summer. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Gopal Virya Devali, it's text number 24, he very beautifully describes Krishna in relationship to the 6 seasons as follows, quote, O Lord, charming as spring, O Lord, pleasant as summer, O Lord, splendid as the monsoon season, O Lord, with the limitless playfulness of autumn, O Lord, with the wonderful handsomeness of winter, unquote. So beautiful. So it's interesting that we've heard summer described here as auspicious and pleasant. Because anyone who's lived in India in the summer, the first word that comes to their mind, or my mind, is most likely very hot. Hot. Actually, one of our acharya writes in that particular connection, he writes, quote, the sun shines brightly at this time. The summer season brings scorching hot winds that make one feel as if he's breathing poison-filled air. Due to the intense suffering experienced during the day, any mention of the word daytime instills fear in the heart. So it is like that. Nevertheless, in general, our acharyas describe summer as auspicious and pleasant. How is that? Well, it's because Vrindavan is transcendental to the modes of nature. It's always untouched by matter. And for those who have spiritual vision, the unique characteristic of all seasons simply serve the pleasure pastimes of Radha and Krsna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in Braj Riti Chintamani, one of our favorite books, quote, though the 6 seasons with their qualities occur at different times, in Vrindavan, Krishna enjoys pastimes of all seasons every day. And he continues, all the seasons render service constantly to Krishna in Vrindavan. The gopis serve Krishna by making ornaments from flowers in all the seasons. That's interesting. And in Krishna Bhavanamrita, chapter 10, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that one time, Vrindadevi called all the 6 seasons personified together to hear what their services were while serving Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan in different seasons. She said, O seasonal goddesses, adorn the forest for Radha and Krishna's pleasure. O Vashanta, goddess of springtime, you go to Govardhan Hill and stay at the Rasastali. What is the Rasastali? The Rasastali is the place where Krishna performs the Rasa dance in the springtime. And she continued, O Sharada, goddess of autumn, you stay on the bank of the Jamuna in the land of desire trees. She said, O rainy season, you stay east of Radhakund. And O Hemanta, the season between autumn and winter, serve the divine couple west of Radhakund. And she continued, O winter, serve Sri Radha north of Radhakund. And O summer, serve Sri Radha inside the water of Radhakund to make the water pastimes more successful. serve Sri Radha inside the water of Radhakund to make water pastimes. They're very successful. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he continues, he says, hearing these words, the seasonal goddesses, who he described are experienced like no others, offered their obeisances to Vrindadevi and went to do their services, as was proper. And then he writes, for who will not endeavor to become blessed like this? Who will not endeavor to become blessed like this? So much nectar. Now, Ananda Vrindavan Champu reveals just how Krishna appears during the summertime. Because, each season's a little different, so maybe he dresses a little different, acts a little different, speaks a little different seasons. So Ananda Vrindavan Champu reveals how Krishna appears in the summertime. It says he wears a strand of pearls, bordering his hairline and forehead. He wears a shimmering gold dhoti that blows in the warm wind. He wears garlands of malika buds, cooling flower ornaments, and sandalwood paste. All this is on his attractive transcendental form. Now, Ananda Vrindavan Champu also describes gopis during the summer season. Therein it's described that they're decorated with ear ornaments of shirisha flowers, crowns of patala flowers, garlands of malika flowers, and bracelets of kutaja flowers. I don't know what a kutaja flower is, but they have bracelets made of those flowers. There's a number of pastimes that take place in summer. For example, the chastisement of the Kaliya serpent, the killing of Dinakasura, and Krishna's swallowing the forest fire. They all happen during the summertime, and other ones as well, but those are three that I mentioned. And there are lesser known pastimes, but just as relishable. For example, one summer day, Krishna, the cows, and the cowherd boys, as they traversed the Vrindavan forest, searching for fresh grasses, because that's what the cows are doing. They're looking for fresh, tasty grasses, so actually the cowherd boys follow them. So as they traversed the Vrindavan forest, searching for these grasses, they came across an orchard that is now known as Badali. And the Shastra describes that it was the middle of the day and unbearably hot. So the boys and cows, they went and they sat under some trees and they waited for the heat to subside. But it didn't. And it's described that to the boys it felt like it would last forever. So at one point Krishna laid down and he put his head on the lap of one of his cowherd friends, and two other boys, they fanned him with a leafy tree branch, it's described. While two other boys, they massaged his hands and his feet. Then one of the boys said, "Hey Gopal, you have shown us your mystic powers in the past. Can you do something about this heat? It's so hot we can hardly breathe." And he said, a refreshing rain or cooling breeze would be just the remedy for this distressing situation. Just look at your friends and cows, Krishna, and see how they're suffering. So, always wanted to care about his devotees, Krishna took his flute, his venu, and he immediately played a very special melody on his flute, calling all the clouds for their help. And no sooner had he done this than a cloud appeared above him, which gradually expanded itself into the entire sky to form a huge umbrella that blocked out the powerful glare of the sun. And then as a cooling breeze began to blow from the north, tiny droplets of water showered down upon the area where Krishna and his friends were. So it's described that in a matter of moments the atmosphere felt just like spring. Not summer, but spring. And the gopas, the cowherd boys' fatigue and discomfort, it all disappeared. And the cows, they rose to their feet to graze again. Well, it's described by being bathed in the refreshing rain that was falling. So the cowherd boys, they very happily glorified the clouds as Krishna's, quote, true friends. That's what the boys said. Krishna, those clouds, they're your true friends. Of course, it's a very simple pastime. Krishna plays his flute, and a cloud appears. But one acharya, he writes, and I quote him, because a cloud appeared at Krishna's request and released a very pleasant and cooling rainfall, which is called badala in Sanskrit. The cowherd boys, they very affectionately named that place Badali. Badali. And it's described, they always remember it with great affection. Hare Krishna. So one last note. As simple as the Badali pastime is, it's very rich with rasa. As are all of Krishna's pastimes. With his parents, with the cowherd boys, or Krishna's lovers, the gopis, it's all different types of rasa, different type of loving affairs, loving exchanges. Even though it's a simple pastimes, it's just pregnant with rasa. And such pastimes are relished by the Paramahamsas, the topmost swan-like devotees of the Lord. But anyone, if they're sincere, can come to that platform and taste the same nectar. But it's only possible by the mercy of the Yuga Avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We're always tying in the Vrindavan and the Mayapur pastimes, because actually they're non-different, different moods. So that exalted state of being able to see the rasa, experience the rasa, and the very simple activities of Vrindavan's life, it's only possible for the people of this age, Kali Yuga, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said that to understand Radha and Krishna, we need the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. But to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we need the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we need to do as he did, and in various ways preach to the Jagais and Madhais. This ISKCON movement it's a missionary movement. It's meant to deliver, well, eventually the whole world, the whole universe. Thus, once again, we see a distinct connection between Lord Krishna's pastimes 5,000 years ago and Lord Chaitanya's pastimes 500 years ago. In this regard, I would like to conclude today by sharing with you a very beautiful poem by a devotee who was a contemporary of, Srila Narottam Das Thakur. He appeared at that particular time. His name was Haridas, and his poetry is not only accepted but relished by our Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas. Now, in his old age, he walked from his birthplace, Mayapur, to Vrindavan. And he wrote the following poem along the way. And when he finally arrived in Vrindavan, he went to Sevakunj, and just as he arrived in Sevakunj, he left his body. But by his mercy, he left behind this beautiful poem. So here's the poem. O Lord of my life, when will the land of Mahaprabhu allow me to see the land of Radha and Krishna? When will that day come when I will eat sweet rotis, cooked by the Brajabasis, and listen to beautiful songs describing their love for Radha and Krishna? In Nadia, there are banana trees, and in Vrindavan, there are groves of pilu trees. In the forest of banana trees, in Nadia, Sundar Gauranga is sitting in the cool shadow, joking with his friends. My heart's desire is to hear these jokes coming from his sweet lips and laugh along with his friends. There in Vrindavan, the divine couple are making riddles for their sakis to solve. Seeing the sakis unable to solve these riddles, the divine couple laughs. My heart's desire is to sit in these kunjas of Braj and witness these pastimes. O my friend, meditating on Krishna, taking tax from the gopis, I am crying day and night. My heart is melting in the heat of separation from Brajabhumi. which is the abode of the highest exchange of loving dialogues. The wind's dual nature is to stop the burning fire, as well as to increase the forest fire. Similarly, the land where Mahaprabhu had his pastimes is making me feel more separation from the land of Vrindavan. But witnessing a forest of mango trees pacifies my separation from Vrindavan. O Navadvip, you are worshipped by great sages like Shiva, Narada, Shesha, and Brahma. Please grant me residence in Braj, so that I may worship the lotus feet of Radha and Krsna, the source of Chaitanya Premanidhi, the treasure house of the love of Sri Chaitanya. I worship the lotus feet of the devotees who are always traveling to Vrindavan from Navadvip. They are like bumblebees who are intoxicated with fragrant and sweet rasa between two jasmine flowers. My heart is flowing in waves of humility, seeing the beautiful glories of the two non-different abodes of the Lord and his devotees. It is like a weighing scale. One who is on the side which goes down sees the other side higher in the sky and more glorious. Similarly, the devotees who live in Braj sing the glories of the Nadia Vasis. And the devotees living in Nadia sing the glories of the Brajavasis. O mind, the two abodes of Radha and Krishna, Nadia and Braj, are like two eye colors, white and dark. The two ways to breathe, exhale and inhale, the two banks of a river and two faces of a coin. I, Haridas, feeling separation from Vrindavan, take shelter of Nadia. I am blind in two ways, physically and not being able to see the two dhams, different from one another. Thus I lament. Hare Krishna. Wow. That was just pure nectar. You just hear that, you feel your heart becoming purified, and your attachment for Vrindavan and Mayapur rising simultaneously. Hare Krishna. So that's our first discourse on the glories of summer in Vrindavan, and we can realize also in Mayapur. And we'll be back in a couple of days with more nectar about summer in Sri Vrindavan Dhama. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Shri Shri Gauranitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radharashama Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki, Shri Mayapur Dham ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki, Gauri Premanandi, Jai Jai Sisi Radhe Sham.